Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on Sri FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kesmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Heavy security presence at Nkwanta in Oti region after renewed chieftaincy clash as residents flee the area. We have a live update for you. In the eastern region, one person is reported dead following a shootout involving youth and suspected land guard at Kota in the Ayensiano district. And much later on the program, Electoral Commission's Greater Accra Regional Office attacked, scuttling another failed attempt to collate the Ablekuma North constituency results. Now let's bring you this. There's heavy security presence at Nkwanta in the Nkwanta South district of the Oti region after renewed chieftaincy clash. Gunshot could be heard in the night, leaving residents in a state of shock and anxiety. Some have started fleeing to avoid getting caught up in the violence. Government has indicated troops deployed to the area have managed to restore calm, with additional troops tasked to augment others already in the area to prevent any further violence. A while ago, Felix Kwachofosu, acting spokesperson to President John Mahama, posted on his X page, and we'll be bringing you that detail. He said on the Nkwanta clashes believed to stem from a chieftaincy dispute, a combined team of police and military personnel were there to deal with the situation, and we'll bring you more on this very shortly. But ahead of that, the Electoral Commission has yet again suspended the recollation of the Ablekuma North parliamentary election results after suspected thugs attacked its Accra regional offices this morning. Ablekuma North constituency remains the only constituency without a representation in Ghana's parliament more than 1 month after elections were held on December 7. This stems from disagreement over the authenticity of the pink sheet to be used for result collation. This is in spite of a court order for the EC to collate and declare results. My colleague George Quainin reports some alleged thugs stormed the EC offices some hours ago and vandalized the place, halting a planned recollation exercise. And George Quainin joins us live on the line. George, what more can you tell us?
So, Beatrice, thanks for having me. So, the truth of the matter is the place has actually been cleared. It looks a bit deserted. All the party faithful have left the place because it was actually a directive from, let's say, some of the executives here for them to go. But I don't know when exactly they will return here again. But it looks a bit deserted as it stands. So, what that means is that it's the 7th time the recollation exercise has been suspended, Beatrice.
Indeed, but I know you were there even before the violence broke out. Yes. Are you able to tell us how it all unfolded?
Okay, so Beatrice, so the original time was 8 a.m. That was the time EC gave. And so we're here, we're at the collation center. And let's say around 9, we just, saw some thugs getting inside, destroying the Louver Blaze and all that. So we had to, come out because they told us not to video. Once they see our phones out, they're going to destroy it. That was the question they gave us. So all of us had to move. And we all came out, and then we're just, moving around the facility. So it was just us more like scared to even, do our work, more like it. So that was it until, some sort of peace was, brought here, because there was the constituency organizer, Musa, who came to talk to them. And clearly, for them, it's a new government, and so the EC's strategy of always declaring MPP candidates victors, for them, that's what they're trying to avoid. The reason they did that. So for them, it's their candidates, Robin Orban, who must be declared the winner. So that is why they have to portray that very act.
George, I want you to hold on whilst we're here, Mr. Musa Kamalo, the man you just introduced, and we'll come back to continue with the conversation.
Sure.
Here during the last collation, it's over 1 week now. It's 10 days. Could you believe the EC has not called us to even engage us? We raised serious questions the last time. because we have their own returning officers saying the pink sheets that was produced to them was fake, was forgery. What did the EC say about it? We had their returning officer, the same returning officer with 2 different signatures. We raised that concern. They didn't say anything. We have their one Nathaniel, their own PO, who said when he met the returning officer, he did not confirm the figures on the pink sheets. Yet, the returning officer went ahead and recorded those figures on the collation form. These are questions we need genuine answers.
Mr. Musa, okay.
The way forward is the court directed the EC to come and recollate. You know you do not have a single pink sheet. How are you going to do that recollation?
So you want us to have a entire election?
The 62, because we will never accept for the EC to use MPP scanned pink sheets for recollation.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, it's like your men are still here. Won't you allow them to retire? Why are they still here?
So the EC communicated to us to be here 8 o'clock. As at now, they've still not told us anything. We've not heard anything from them. That is our problem. So we'll be here till close of day 5 o'clock.
So, Mr. Musa.
And so that was the Ablekuma North constituency organizer of the governing New Patriotic Party, Musa Kalamu. George Quaiding is still on the line with us to wrap up our conversation. George, did we get any word from the MPP and indeed the Electoral Commission that is organizing this exercise, really?
So so there's actually a WhatsApp group where the EC interacts with the press corps. So we got the message that the media should vacate the premises because we were there at our own detriment. So if anything happens to us, we are supposed to take the blame. So clearly, what that means is that the exercise is not going to take place. But like we always do, we have to still be here and make sure the report that we're supposed to do is done. But as it stands now, the message we've gotten is that it's not going to take place. But I didn't see any MPP present here, but I personally saw the NDC parliamentary candidate, not Albin, but she didn't want to talk because of the court issue. So she didn't want to be seen on camera. So she pardoned that I didn't video her, but I didn't see any MPP present to even get a response from them. But the EC, as I mentioned, the exercise will not take place today. So we're just hoping to know when exactly will be continued to be choose.
Thank you so much, George Quaiding. He's a correspondent covering the recollation exercise of the Ablekuma North constituency results. And I'm sure you heard him there. The exercise couldn't come on because of violence. We stay on issues of Parliament because although the House is yet to vet and approve the nomination of Haruna Idrisu as Minister Designate for Education, residents and heads of school second cycle institutions in Tamale are hailing President Mahama for appointing the Tamale South MP to occupy the position. They say that Haruna's wide range of experiences and abilities exhibited over the years are a testament that he will be able to make a difference in the education sector. Remember that President Mahama on Thursday, January 16, nominated the Tamale South lawmaker as Education Minister Designate, awaiting parliamentary approval. But let's listen to Haruna Idrisu earlier, or the people actually resident reacting to his nomination, as I was just telling you.
Our welfare demand, towards making sure that the interests of not just UTAC but every other worker within the higher education environment will come to fruition. And like we say, you can't always have 100%, right, but at least to a large extent, you always hope that there will be that mutuality, and you move to the center, and then government moves to the center, and at the end of the day, it becomes a win-win situation. And I think that with that experience of supporting to bring to bear codified conditions of service for previous SADA.
And just this morning, when we heard it, everybody is saying, wow, Haruna can do it. Haruna can do it. So just this trust from the people alone means he can do it. And apart from that, Haruna can, even where he has difficulty, he can even reach out to even the former minister, because they were colleagues in parliament and they are still colleagues in parliament. Anybody, he can reach out, and he has a whole lot of seasoned educationists around him in Tamale, like our former regional director, Cambodia, like Kasulana, like Yualana, former mayor of Tamale. He is a seasoned educator, and they all are they sit outside and advise Haruna as to which step to take. And these are seasoned educators themselves. Yualana, Kasulana, Cambodia, and a whole lot of retired headmasters and directors who have been his teachers. And once a teacher, always a teacher. They will, anywhere he is going wrong, they will call him to order.
And you had there some individuals reacting to the nomination of Haruna Idrisu, the Member of Parliament for Tamale South, as the Education Minister designate. Christopher Marco is our man up there. He joins us live on the line. Chris, can you tell us who those individuals we just heard are, and any other reactions coming from which quarters of the area?
Yeah, so Beatrice, we just heard from the headmaster of the Tamale Senior High School, Mohammed Mustafa, as well as the National Secretary of UTAG, that is Mr. Professor Ilyasu Mumuni, and what other people in the greater Tamale metropolis and the entire northern region are saying is that Haruna's nomination did not come to them as a surprise, because they know very well that with his vast range of experience gained over the years, he would definitely be given an opportunity to serve in John Mahama's government. And all they are praying for is that he should be able to deliver, especially in a difficult ministry as education, and because of the free senior high school and other accompanying challenges, as well as the numerous of strikes by CTAG, UTAG, TUTAG, and other unionized institutions within the education sector. So it is the hope of people as well as stakeholders that the minister designate, if approved by Parliament, should be able to address most of the concerns of the education sector, especially the food shortage that is currently looming in senior high schools across the country.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Christopher Marco. He's our correspondent in the northern region. And we stay on the government. And residents of Gomwa Potin have welcomed the nomination of Eko Penyin Ochri Eduamwa, a Central Regional Minister designate, with wild jubilation and excitement. While regarding this as a perfect honor to his hard work, they are expecting the nominee to attend to the developmental needs of the area and the region at large. Beatrice Adu reports.
President John Dramani Mahama has nominated Eduamwa Eko Penyin Ochri as the Central Regional Minister designate. This is the reason I am here at Gomwa Potin, his hometown, to speak to residents concerning what they make of this announcement. Residents took to the streets of Gomwa Potin, the hometown of the nominee, to celebrate the good news. As a former Member of Parliament for the Gomwa East area and the current Vice Chairman of the NDC, residents believe he will exercise diligence and work hard to address their challenges.
And we know that once he's from here, he's going to pay his dues to the constituency or the district, because he's actually from here. It is this place he started his political career. So he'll do much for Gomwa East, and we know that he has done it before. He was once an MP, 2 terms, and he worked so well.
When you came to town, you can see the people here. They are very, very happy. Okay, so what we are telling President John Dramani Mahama and Vice President Professor John Nana Opukwajiman, that we, the residents of Potsin and Ngombois, we are very grateful to them for nominating our son to be the Central Regional Minister.
Yan Mampan John Dramani Mahama, Wabo, Yan Papa na Yan Bleda, Honorable Okopin Ocho, Nizino Me Central Regional Minister. Yes, Central Regional also pa na Yin Pin and Ubi and Damaquin, ɛsɛ sɛ akɔnyɛ no adu pɔten ne gomo yi siɛ da in fact yɛhu aseda a yɛdze ba manyame ne yɛasan so yɛdze ama yɛn papa.
Supporters of the National Democratic Congress.
And you had there some residents of the central region obviously happy about the nomination for the regional ministry. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7, some 16 minutes past the hour of 12. When we come back, we'll go to Nkwanta, where we understand that there's heavy security presence and residents are fleeing after the resurrection of chieftaincy dispute. Don't go away.
Sometimes you believe you're carrying just enough cash to see your doctor until it's time to pay the bill. You find out to your embarrassment that carrying just enough isn't quite enough. Carry a nationwide medical insurance card. Now that's quite enough.
Your health is worth protecting.
Call us on 0800 22 2222 or visit www.nationwidemh.com. Nationwide Medical Insurance. Join the healthcare family.
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Thank you so much for staying. I was telling you about heavy security presence at Nkwanta in the Nkwanta South District of the Oti region after renewed chieftaincy clash there. We understand that gunshot could be heard in the night, leaving residents in a state of shock and anxiety. And we also do understand that some of them have fled the place. We have Faisal Abdu Idrisu. He's our correspondent in the Volta region, joining us live on the line. Faisal, first of all, just talk to us about this renewed clash and what you know about how it started.
Well, so the issue in Kwanta is a reoccurring one that has been with the people for a very long time. What we do know is that it's a chieftaincy dispute between Salah and the Abele tribe on one side and the Akubus on another side. The last clash before what we are seeing now was somewhere in November 2023, where 8 people were reported dead from that very clash. Then in October last year, the Ministry of Interior, following an advice from the Regional City Council, imposed a curfew on the town between 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. So when you get in contact between 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., the town looks more or less a dead town. You will not be able to see or witness any form of people activity until the next morning. Then on Thursday, we heard that the clashes began again. We are not really triggered this very one, but what I can confirm is that a number of people have lost their lives. I'm able to tell the exact figures because the figures are a bit complicated. Police officers are not able to confirm the figures, but the two some people have lost their lives. The accidents are also seeing 6 persons I spoke to this morning indicated that we left Nkwanta and I hope in some other parts within the region. And so, yes, what we are taking is a very terrible situation in Nkwanta currently. A number of shops are also being dead. Some houses are being set ablaze. Gunshots are being dead. And so, the most part of the Nkwanta houses. And so, that's exactly the situation in Nkwanta as I speak to you.
So let me just confirm, what you're saying is that a number of people have lost their lives, but you're not able to confirm how many people?
Yes, that's what I have seen from the sources within the township, that people have lost their lives, except that we do not know the exact number.
What about those who have been injured? Are you able to tell us?
Yes, some people have also been injured. Some have still been receiving treatment at the St. Joseph. I'm forgetting the exact name, but the Nkwanta Government Hospital was the target one. I'm told by the health officials that we received some people who are currently receiving treatment at their end. Some are also told that because of the situation in town, they are not able to react to the hospital themselves. So even though we are aware that people are within them, the hospital is also not able to tell us how many people are in their facility at the moment.
But we also do understand that some properties were destroyed, even some burnt. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, it's a private situation. So some shops have been set ablaze, homes have been burnt. When you see the visuals are still
obtained from the some residents, you will realize that some of the buildings have also, and there are not substantial all over some of the buildings, liver blows, across accounts, particularly for buildings that just have been targeted. And so, yes, shots have been done. Buildings have been attacked, largely, when we see it appears that some of the homes have been targeted in this very recent attack.
Faisal, before you go, we also read a statement from the acting spokesperson to President John Mahama indicating that there would be reinforcement, as it were, of security presence in that place. Have you seen that? Are you even there?
Yes, so we are aware of the directive from government and the decision to deploy security officers. But as I speak to you, there is an indication also that men on the ground have been able to town centers and put things under control. Despite the fact that residents are saying that the fear to realize they do not know how the next few hours and days may turn out to be for them, there's an indication that things are gradually being under control. And once the new enforcement job, we are pretty certain that there should be some form of calm within the town. But like I indicated from the start, this is a real operating situation. And so we can't just predict when and how the next class may occur.
Faisal Abdul Idrisu, thank you very much for bringing us the update from Nkwanta South area and the latest from there in the Volta region. We do apologize for the quality of that sound, but be safe. And we go to the eastern region now because we understand that one person is dead and several others are in critical condition following a violent shootout between land guard and youth at Kota in the Ayensuano district of that region. The violence erupted after the youth of Kota barricaded a section of the road in protest against a land deal brokered by traditional authorities. Yvonne Nekwe is a woman who is reporting or monitoring this for us. She told us earlier that calm has since returned to the area after heavy security deployment to restore order. Yvonne joins us on the line now. Yvonne, what's the situation now?
Well, which is like we earlier on reported, it's still an easy calm because the situation has not been resolved, and especially when a death has been recorded, the farmers insists that their cassava farms cannot be raised down when they have not been properly engaged or compensated. I'm just halfway into the community, and you could still see a number of them clad in red clothes, really waiting for amicable solution, else they would still resist the chief's decision to sell off their lands to developers.
Yvonne, just give us a bit background for those who probably don't know the story or haven't followed it.
Well, so this is the Ayensuano district. In the Ayensuano district is the district capital, Krabwa Kota, purely an agricultural community who do grow cassava, plantain, and all of the important crops you can think of. And so you could safely say that is one of the great SafeNet community. Yesterday, the chief had met to have engagement in the community. They spoke about several developments happening. There was an issue of the lands in the community. The youth and the farmers resisted the chief because they felt that their lands cannot be given out to developers when they have not been engaged or spoken to. In the course of the violence and gunshot, one person died. And so this morning, I've had a number of police presence in the community. Unfortunately, the only basic school in that area has been closed down temporarily because of the uneasiness in the community.
And finally, before you go, are you able to tell us perhaps in terms of the security deployment and also whether or not you know anybody has been arrested in this?
Well, as I speak to you, nobody has been arrested yet, but a number of police presence is in the community. Like I said, I'm halfway through the community. I did see a patrol team, so move in the community, trying to ensure that their presence is felt, peace is resolved, and then all stakeholders who do matter resolve the situation. Now, there's a bit of absence because DISEC is not in control. We do not have DC yet. We do not have a minister yet. So it means that it's the sole responsibility of the police who must take a decision. Here again, the residents in the area feel that the police have not been able to resolve their claims when they come to them. And so it's a bit of a dicey situation. We'll see how the police try to manage the situation until further date.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Yvonne Nekwe. She's our correspondent in the Eastern region and talking about land issues. 23 illegal miners have been arrested by private security guards in the underground mine area of Earl International Group Gold Ghana Limited, a large-scale mining company operating in Bane in the Talensi district. The suspects were among over 100 galamseyers who invaded the mine on the midnight of Wednesday, January 15, 2025, at Shaft 2, Level 2, through illegal mining pit. They have since been handed over to the police for further action. And hopefully we'll be connecting to our correspondent very shortly who has the latest on this for us. And let's go to the Upper East region now. Correspondent Tanko Mohammed Rabiu joins us live on the line. Rabiu, what more can you tell us about these 23 individuals who've been arrested?
Yes, thank you very much. That was on Wednesday. These 23 people, together with about 100 illegal miners, tried to invade the underground mine of Earl International Mining Company, which that has happened for a while now. If you recall, sometime 2018 to 2019, there are about 16 illegal miners died as a result of this same act. So most of this afterwards, most of these pits were sealed. But then, anytime these pits have been sealed, illegal miners find their way in getting way to the underground. So, beginning this year, it has happened again where they invaded the underground mines of Earl International, trying to steal, the gold ore.
And how are people reacting to what has happened?
Yes, within the mining community in Bani, it is difficult to them because we have only 2 large-scale mining companies. The rest are small-scale miners and illegal miners. So when this happens, they are taking it as normal, though some of them are not happy because of the arrest. Some people are happy because it poses danger to, residents who visit, the people who are not being mined. Because when you visit the area, there are a lot of uncovered pits all around, and it poses danger to them. Most of their children fall into this uncovered pit. So they are happy that this has happened. And then because what I'm hearing is that from today they will start covering all these pits.
Thank you so much, Tanko Mohammed Rabiu, speaking to us live from the Upper East region. And that's it for the news on Shri FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you so much for joining us today. Log on to shrinews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
Accra, Ghana, Africa, and worldwide. Join us on Inspirational Gospel Mix this and every Sunday, 8 p.m. I just wanna praise you. 3 FM. What is your favorite scripture?
Well, my favorite scripture is Romans 8:28, and it says, all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord. Kwame, that is absolutely my favorite scripture.
Yes, your inspirational gospel mix, a moment to get inspired with the best of inspirational songs and interviews to get you prepared for the new week on every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. with me, your big brother, Kwame Adu, mixing G, mixing gospel. You can't miss it. You are blessed as you listen. 3FM 92.7.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Ausa. Coming up this afternoon, Africa Center for Retirement Research calls for pension indexation reform to prevent retiree poverty. We'll hear from Executive Director Abdallah Mashoud.
Any pension indexation mechanism that fails to match up pension increment rate to increment in prices of goods and services is practically driving old age pensioners into poverty.
Also ahead, Ashanti Business Owners Association urges ministers nominated for finance and trade and agribusiness to engage business community to aid in economic recovery.
Expectation of a government that want to re-engage amidst people so that he carries us along the path for economic recovery and progress.
Also ahead, Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana throws weight behind Eric Opoku as nominee for Minister of Food and Agriculture as it calls for clear timelines for implementing government's campaign promises for the sector. These stories and others lined up for you. Please stay. Thanks for your company. Now to our very first story. The Africa Center for Retirement Research is calling on the government to reform Ghana's pension indexation policy. Executive Director Abdallah Mashoud warns that the current system is worsening the economic hardships of retirees, leading to a steady decline in their living standards and overall well-being. According to him, about 75% of OECD countries are overhauling their pension systems to better protect the poor, a move Ghana must emulate to prevent retirees from sinking deeper into poverty.
I would like to use historical trends to tell how the living standard of Ghanaian pensioner is declining or how retirees' social and economic well-being is deteriorating due to the inconsistencies in the implementation of the pension indexation provision. In fact, a trend analysis of the minimum pension shows that the minimum pension has consistently increased each year since the year 2000 and in some cases even doubled, for instance in 2013 and 2014. And let me indicate that any pension indexation mechanism that fails to match up pension increment rate to increment in prices of goods and services is practically driving old age pensioners into poverty. I would like to point to the fact that the current pension indexation model continues to widen the economic gap between rich high earners and the low earners, as well as putting a lot of financial strain on the pension system. There is a very important need for us to reform the pension indexation policy. This is very, very, very key as we make effort to close down the economic inequalities between the rich and the poor.
And that was Executive Director of the Africa Center for Retirement Research, Abdallah Mashoud, calling for pension indexation reform to prevent retiree poverty. Moving on, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana has pledged its unwavering support for Eric Opoku, the nominee for Minister of Food and Agriculture. According to Executive Director Bismarck Tetenote Owusu, Opoku is well-versed in the agricultural sector and possesses the expertise to drive growth and development. They believe his background in agriculture, coupled with his extensive experience in rural development, makes him an ideal candidate to lead the sector.
Having the president nominate Eric Opoku means that the president is listening. And as we know, Honorable Eric possesses these qualities that we are looking at. If you look at Honorable Eric, I'm sure we all know his pedigree when it comes to our cultural issues in the country. We know the work he did for as a member of the subcommittee of Food and Agric, where we engaged the committee, of which was very vocal and shared insights as to what needs to be done to improve the lot of the farmer. We know he has the farmers at heart. We know he has the nation at heart. We know he has agricultural development at heart. So for we as peasant farmers, we can only wish him, we welcome him to the sector. We can only pledge that we are willing and ready to work with him, to support him and the president on their vision to transform the agricultural sector. And anytime he's ready to call upon us, we're ready to provide that support.
Meanwhile, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana is calling on the minister nominee to take a proactive approach by engaging with stakeholders within the sector for clear timelines for implementing the government's campaign promises related to the sector.
We have some policies that this government will be inheriting from the previous government, like the PFJ 2.0. It will be interesting to know what the new sector minister wants to do with that particular policy. You know, some of us are saying that the concept of that policy itself isn't bad, but the implementation has challenges. So maybe a sector consultative approach will help to streamline the policy and ensure that we get the best out of it. But for us, as we said, we know that the NDC also came with their own manifesto and their own promises, and they want to abide by that because that's the social contract they have with the people of Ghana. So for us, we are expecting that the minister, the nominee, will do that, but in the spirit of inclusivity, in the spirit of togetherness, in the spirit of and coming from the fact that he has a strong agricultural background, as is a farmer himself, and so the president, His Excellency. We are very hopeful that together we will be able to come together and move the sector forward.
And that was Executive Director of Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Bismarck Tete Owusu-Nortey. In a related development, the Ashanti Business Owners Association has welcomed the nominations of Dr. Case Lato-Forson for the Ministry of Finance and Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare for the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, with an expectation of economic recovery for the business environment. In an interview with 3 Business, Executive Director Charles Appiah-Kubi stressed the need for accelerated efforts to ignite policies that will revamp the Ghanaian economy and protect businesses.
We are expecting them to deliver on their promise. We are expecting them to avail themselves to the current challenges that we find ourselves. So they ignite policies and introduce interventions that will protect the business environment, that you see a revamp in our economic activities, expectation of a government that want to re-engage amidst people so that he carries us along the path for economic recovery and progress. A government that will protect the business environment, that will not take us for a ride. We're expecting a government that will understand that we have a social contract. We have delivered our part, and he has a responsibility to deliver his part as a government to see that Ghana becomes the Ghana we all dream to have.
And that was Executive Director of the Ashanti Business Owners Association, Charles Appiah-Kubi, ending Business Daily with me, Bismarck Awusa. For more business stories, please log on to 3news.com. Thanks for your company.